So welcome to another session. So in this session, we will discuss about different system which will be actually present in the corporate environments. And in the previous section, we have discussed about the OSA model and few networking concepts. So in the next section, we are going to discuss about the different system that has been used in the network. So first of all, so when we coming up to the different system in a network, so the firewall will be the first thing that will coming into our mind. So we are going to discuss about the firewall first. So let us say, so firewall is basically a security device. So either it will be like a hardware and it will be like a software, so or a combination of both. So sometime in some corporate environment, the firewall is based on hardware. There is a FortiGate firewall, Cisco firewall, and lot of firewalls are there. So sometime we are using the software for that. Example, the Windows firewall, and it will be a combination of both. Okay, so hardware and as well as the software. The main purpose of the firewall is like monitoring the inbound and the outbound traffic. Okay, so let us consider here is your router, and inside the router, so there is a firewall inside it. So after the firewall, many devices has been connected under the firewall. So every devices under the firewall, it will send the traffic. It will send the traffic to the firewall, then the firewall to router, and the router to the internet. Okay, this is the scenario of the how firewalls, how our corporate environment will operate. Okay, so in firewall there is a two thing. One is a inbound rule, and another one is a outbound rule. Okay, so inbound rule is basically, we will see a diagram for that. So it's basically here is an attacker. So you can see the inbound rule from the attacker machine to the corporate environment. So it is like, so from internet to the router, and router to firewall, and firewall to the device. Okay, so this rule is called as inbound, some incoming calls, and some traffic was sending from devices to firewall, firewall to router, and router to internet. Okay, so we will call this as outbound traffic. Okay, basically firewall will monitor this inbound and outbound traffic, and if the traffic was malicious, it will block the traffic. If the traffic was good, it will allow the traffic. Okay, based on the rules. So firewall have some set of rules or policies. So it will decide whether the packet was malicious, or the packet which was sending is malicious, or packet was receiving was good. Okay, so basically it will monitor these two things: what are the packets are sending from the machine, and what are the packets are receiving from the internet. Okay, based on the rule, it will take a decision. So we'll see other features of the firewall here, and it's a best access control. If you want to block some devices from accessing the internet, so example, so here is a device, so we are going to block this device to access to the internet. So we can configure the device IP in a firewall, and this firewall will not send any traffic outside of the network. Okay, if the it will block here. Okay, so this is a best access control mechanism, and we have a packet filtering. So we can filter what are the packets need to send to the internet, and we can block based on that. Based on the rule, it will act. Okay, so it has a best VPN support. So VPN is used for connecting securely to a remote network, and it has a web content filtering also. So if you want to block pornography or some adult film, you can configure the same strings in a firewall. It will automatically block that websites. Okay, so the firewall will be like this. If there is any unwanted connection was coming, it will block here, and the permitted traffic only it will be allowed inside to the network. So inbound and outbound will be act like this. If the red column is like a attacker traffic, so it was blocked, and the good traffic was coming from the server, so it has been allowed. Okay, so in outbound packets, so inside one of the machine in a corporate environment, one of the machine was connecting with the malicious traffic, so outbound packets that has been blocked. Okay, so it will be act like that. So next mechanism we are going to see the IPS as well as the IDS. So IPS stand for intrusion detection system. Sorry, IDS stand for intrusion detection system, and IPS stand for intrusion prevention system. Both of the technologies are used to detect and prevent the threats. Okay, so this both are. So in the first method, we can discuss about the IDS. So IDS is also like a firewall. It will monitor and analyze the network traffic, but the only difference, it will not react. So let's see with the practical explanation with the diagram. So here you have a router, and inside the router you have placed IP IDS. Okay, so let's consider some bad traffic was coming from here to here, and it was reaching to the machine. Okay, so it's a bad traffic, some bad traffic, and the IDS will only detect that traffic. Okay, so it will not prevent that, it will not block that, it only detect that. Okay, so after detecting, it will send an alert to administrator. Okay, so it will send an alert like some malicious traffic has been detected, so it will send an alert like this. Okay, so but the threats will be allowed to the machine. Okay, it will not block, it will just detect that. Okay, so if you so that's why we are saying the IPS as a the IDS as a passive tool, IPS as an active tool. Okay, let's see the IPS here. So here we have an IPS, intrusion prevention system, and the same like some bad traffic is reaching to IPS, and here is our machine. So it will detect that and it will stop that, it will block that. Okay, so it will block, it will respond. So response is like it need to block or it need to do something. Okay, that is a response, so it will block. That's why we are calling this tool as an active tool. Okay, so active, and IDS as a passive. Let's go to our presentation here. Okay, so let's jump on to here. We will see the we will already saw the thing how it will be act. So the key difference between the IDS and IPS is in IDS it will only detecting and alerting the threats, but IPS it will detect and prevents the threat. So the response mode will be the only alert, so that we are saying it's a passive. So but it will block the traffic, so that we are saying it's an active. Okay, so the placement, it will be placed outside of the main firewall. So it is like the, so if there is a modem or router and the IDS will be here, so after IDS there is a firewall and IPS. So the structure will be like this. Okay, so it will be placed outside of the firewall, so in line with the firewall. Does not affect network traffic, but it will affect the network traffic, but because it will block the traffic. Okay, so alerts to administrators, but it will not give any alerts to the administrators. Okay, so here is a diagram representation of IPS and IDS. So hope you enjoyed this video, and we will continue our defense mechanism network tools in our next video. See you guys, bye bye. Hey guys, welcome to another video. In this video we will explore the honeypot. Already we have seen the IPS, IDS as well as the firewall, the working mechanisms, and how it will protect the network from the threat actors. So now we will discuss another security mechanism that was commonly used in organizations. So the name was a honeypot. So the name like looks like a beard. It's a honey with a pot. It's a cybersecurity mechanism designed to attract, detect, and analyze the malicious activity by simulating a vulnerable system or in a network. Okay, so basically, let me explain with the diagram. So let's think of it. Here is your router, and it's your router, and here is a application server or any service which is very needed for an organization, but it was a public facing. It will be available in internet, so anyone if they have a authorized username and password, anyone from any home, they can use their internet, and they can use their internet and they can access this service. Okay, so in that organization there is a honeypot has been implemented. Okay, so let's think of it. Here is a attacker. So he is used to attack the web servers. So it's a web server. His hobby is to attack a web server. But what's this honeypot? This honeypot is like a, already we have seen, it's a mechanism designed to attract the hackers. Okay, so the threat actor will think this is a real server, but this is a fake server designed to attract the hackers. Okay, it's designed to attract the hackers, so they think of it this is the real server, and they will try to enter into the machine, but they are unable to access into the machine, but they will connect it to the honeypot. So it will act like a real web server, and the attacker thinks, yeah, I hacked the organizations, I hacked the web server, but that was not a real scenario. But because attacker hacked the fake honeypot server, so that's why it is used to attract the hackers. Okay, it will be a vulnerable system. Okay, so attacker will come into the organization through any vulnerability, and what we will do the attack analysis, how he entered into the machine, which vulnerability he used, and which is the compromised password, username and passwords he will use, and we will check for the vulnerability discovery, which vulnerability he tried to get in the machine, and we will improve our security team to the incident response. So we all know there is an incident response team in every cybersecurity companies. So we can implement a good incident response team. We can learn from this attack. So basically, if there is a threat actor, first of all, we will learn from the threat actor. So how he is entering into the machine and what techniques he will use, and we will get all the IOCs first, indicator of compromise, like IP address and which command line he used. This all the activities we will absorb from the threat actor, and then we will design a rule to detect that automatically by our next gen antivirus tools. Okay, so we will if there is a IP address the attacker used, we will block that IP address in the antivirus softwares or firewalls. So the next time if the attacker try to log in into the machine by using that IP, the antivirus softwares or the firewalls or EDRs, it will automatically block that IP. Okay, so it's a legal evidence how the attacker enter into the machine. So because the honeypot save all the logs, what are the things, what are the stuff the attacker did in the target machine, in the fake machine. So it logs each and everything. So we have a legal evidence of attacker how he enter into the machine and what are the commands he executed. So what's the IOCs and all. Okay, so basically it will attract the hackers to hack into the machine. So by that we can, as a security analyst, we can do our investigations and we can improve our incident response team or any threat analysis team inside the organization. Okay, it's a very interesting field, the threat analyst, these things and all. We will do some forensic stuff and we can do a incident response. We can implement a new detection rules to stop the threat next time. Yep. So this is the diagram where the honeypot will be placed. It will be placed after the router. So on the first, and it will be placed in a service network with the its application servers and our web servers, and it will, the honeypot will be placed after the external firewall. So first honeypot was placed before the firewall, and next honeypot was placed after the firewall. So if the attacker thinks it's a real web server, and he will try to attack the machine, and as a threat analyst, or as a forensics analyst, we can do some investigation and we can find out how the attacker entered into the machine. Okay, so this is the overall explanation of honeypot, and let me see the another security mechanism that was broadly used in every organizations. So this is the one of the entry point of most of the threat actors. The ransomware, especially the ransomware threat actors, they will use VPNs to get into their organizations. They will use the VPN vulnerabilities to enter into the organizations. Okay, so let us see what's a VPN. So it's a virtual private network that allows user to create a secure and encrypted connection over a less secure network, such as internet. Okay, so let me see some diagrams about the VPN. So you are, for an example, so you are in a so you are in an airport. So this is the airport, and you have connected with the airport network through the Wi-Fi, and your machine is here. So also the one of the threat actor, the attacker, connected in the Wi-Fi network, so he can able to see the data what you are sending. Okay, he can able to sniff all the data what you sending, what from the request and response. So what the request sending from your host machine, and what's the response received from the other servers. Okay, he can able to see everything. So we will do, we have a mechanism like VPN, virtual private network. So basically we know what's encryption. So VPN supports the encryption. So VPN will create a encrypted channel. So it will create a encrypted channel. So attacker, if the attacker was here, if he tries to sniff all the data, if he was monitoring all the data from these two machines, so he was unable to understand what we are sending. Okay, so the first thing in VPN, it has an encryption. So we are using for our security in a unsecured networks. So basically this is the first point, such as the internet and the less secure network. Okay, so also we are using in our home network also, because if we need a security for let's think of very big organizations, and they don't know if any of the machines get compromised. So if there is a VPN has been implemented, so they can able to securely transfer their data and receive their data, right? So next thing, the privacy. So VPN basically hide your IP address, so no one able to track you. So where you are and who you are, these details will be hidden. So VPN will support a privacy for you, and this is the thing. So when you are connecting to any internet, it will be change your IP address. Basically I will give you a real example how it will do. And so security, in the sense, it will encrypt all the network traffic and Wi-Fi network, which is more vulnerable to attack. So bypassing geo restrictions. So for example, if your country, so for my country is India will sometime block some of the websites, right? So if we are implementing the VPN, so we can bypass this restriction. So because it will change the IP address to other location. Okay, so we can easily bypass the geolocation restrictions. This will be a good thing. So another one of the important, very important things we need to notice, there is a remote access. So in COVID time, in 2020 to 2022, so everyone are in home, you are working in a home. So if everyone will be in the remote network, right? So let's think of it. See, here is a home. So you are working in a home, and here is your organization. Here is your router, and the organization have a VPN, so it will be in the network. So you need to access some web servers inside your organization. So you are a network administrator or a service administrator, so you can able to use the VPN for a secure and safe communication. It will be encrypted, right? So you can use the VPN to get into the web servers, and you can configure what you want. Okay, this is the real thing. So what you used during your COVID time. So when you are in the work from home, so it will be in the safe and secure channel, but the threat actors, the hackers will use the VPN vulnerability. So if you have compromised the VPN, so you can easily enter it into the web server. Okay, so I will show that publicly. So if we search of the FortiGate VPN showdown, so you can easily go to showdown, and you can notice everything. So here is a I just checked the FortiGate, and I will open another tab, and you can see the client, the FortiGate VPN was asking a username and password to me. Basically, FortiGate was a VPN provider. So here you can see they have a separate VPN. They are a VPN providers. Okay. So the VPN will be in both the hardware as well as the software. We can see that from here the VPN will be look like this. Okay, so it will support encryption and all. So if you have the username and password, you can log in into the organization and you can hack whatever you want. Okay, so there will be a lot of CVE for a VPN. So the threat actors will use this CVE and get into the machines. So it will be one of the easy thing, because it was publicly faced. We will take this as a public facing application. We can able to access it from our internet. So this VPN is public facing. If we have a username and passwords, we can able to log in into that machine. So you can see a critical vulnerability was found in the VPN, and SSL function, and there is a lot of vulnerabilities like remote code executions and all. Remote code execution. So CV 2024 21762, it has a remote code execution. You can execute any remote code in any of the parameter, and you can get into the machines. Like you can execute the ifconfig command like that, and you can access whatever you want. Like there are vulnerabilities like that. Okay, so or else you can host your malicious code in your web server, and you can give the URLs. Like we will see all the things in upcoming topics, and we can discuss whatever we want. So let us think of it. This is our remote server, and you are hosting a server.exe file. So this will execute in the VPN, and it will give you the reverse connection to you. So the vulnerabilities are like that. So you can easily get into the machines. Okay, so it's a remote access software. So if you have a usernames and passwords, you can easily access it remotely. Okay, the VPN will be hosted like this, and there's internet, and there's a VPN gateway. So it will be hosted like this. So if you have the credentials, or if the VPN have any vulnerability, you can easily enter into any of the machines inside the organizations. So the ransomware threat actors mostly use the FortiGate VPNs and other Cisco or any VPNs uh, to spread their ransomwares across the environment. Okay, so ransomware operator for exploiting FortiGate networks. Ransomware hackers use hijacked FortiGate VPNs. Okay, so not only the FortiGate, we have lot of VPNs. So every VPN was vulnerable at one of the time. So after that, they will release a patch for that, so then we can fix. So let me see what's about the VPN. So I have a Bitdefender VPN. So now you can see my IP address was 117.202.77.125. If I give what's my IP here, so it will be showing some other IPs. Okay, so my IP will be 59.192.246.32, and let's put this in virus total. Let's understand what this virus total is saying. It's showing my IP was a malware and it's from India. So let's connect it to the VPN, and now I am in Singapore. So it will load. Give me some seconds. Let it will be load that, and once it get loaded we will refresh that. So now you can see my IP was changed to 146.70.149.104. so if I put this in virus total, so now it's a VPN IP and it's from Singapore. So the virus total showing it also VPN IP. So the VPN is basically change your IP address geolocation. So if any of the websites has been blocked in India, so we can access that websites through the VPNs. Okay, so not only that, you can easily switch from one place to another, so by using the location tab. So here we have all the locations, so you have switch all the locations, what locations you want. So I'm not using the premium version, so it's 200 MB free for thing. So if you want to upgrade, you can go ahead and upgrade. So I'm not interested, I'm not using VPN for my day-to-day activities, so I don't need that. So this is the overall explanations of the virtual private network. So let's understand it's more vulnerable and you can easily enter into the organization through the VPN networks. If you need to research something about the vulnerability, just go ahead and research about the vulnerability, because most of the threat actors, especially the ransomware threat actors, they will use the VPN networks to get into the organizations and spread their ransomware binaries across the networks. Okay. So many of them are freshers while taking this course, but don't worry about the big words like ransomware, VPNs, and the organizations, etc., etc. So we will learn in the upcoming top sections one by one. Okay. So thank you guys. I hope you have clear understanding about the honeypot as well as the VPN. We will continue the discussion in the next video. See you. Bye bye. Hey guys, welcome to another video. So in this we will explore one of the next gen network detections that will be widely used in every organization based on cybersecurity. So if they are a product based company, they will have NDRs, network detections and response. So basically this tool, this software or tool, this will monitor each and every network traffic, and it will detect a suspicious traffic and it will respond based on that, like blocking that IP and these things. Okay. So it has some artificial intelligence and machine learning capabilities. Based on that, it will investigate each and every network traffic and it will decide whether the traffic was malicious or a good traffic, okay, based on that. So sometime you may know, so many of the threads, it will bypass the antivirus softwares and firewalls. So but the network detections and response, this is the next gen AV, next gen tool or AV with the artificial intelligence and machine learning capabilities. So it will easily stop that threats, okay. So it's a network traffic monitoring and behavioral analysis. So so it will monitor each and every machine. So what was the behavior of that? If there is any changes in the behavior, like a huge network traffic from a machine, then it will monitor that and it will see whether it was a botnets or it's a botnet activity or any other DOS attack or DDoS it was trying, okay, and it will respond based on that. Also you can do a incident response from this tool. You can, if the IP was malicious, you can take an IP and you can block that in the NDR also, or you can add any rules in that in NDR. So it will be a very helpful coming to in cybersecurity based network defense tools, okay. So this is one of the powerful tool which will be used to network to stop the advanced threats from the threat attacker, okay. So the NDR rules, the logs will be like that. So the source IP, destination IP, and how many bytes are sent and how many bytes are received, and who is the users and what was the host names and everything. It will be have a great log functions. It will log everything, each and every IP. So based on the rules, so we know the firewall have inbound and outbound rules. So the NDR also have some set of rules, the set of policies. So based on the policy, it will block or allow that network traffic. Otherwise, it will so the IP was malicious, so it will block that. Otherwise, it will allow the network traffic. So uh, that's all about this section. So we have seen lot of tools that was widely used in organization. So currently, this NDR. So NDR will be used most of the organizations to stop the network-based advanced threats like C2C, botnets, DOS, DDoS, everything we can see. Okay, so let's complete this section and we will move to the next section. Thank you, and we will share each and every resource, the PPTs in the next session. Bye bye.